We heard you loud and clear in the comments. You love secret weapons, so we're back with even more hidden items for you to find. My name is Kodiak, this is Legacy Gaming, and today we're breaking down 5 more insanely powerful weapons, where to find them, and how to make them work in your build. Just like last time, I want to start with a small spoiler warning. We will be discussing certain world bosses in this video, so if you haven't beaten the game and you want to experience Remnant 2 as it's intended to be played, close the video and come back later. Or if you don't care about spoilers, strap in and let's do this. We had to start this video off with a bow. We felt like we were letting you all down last time by not including one of the brand new item type weapons on the list, so we're trying to make up for that with something truly awesome. The Crescent Moon can be obtained from Namue, but only after you've claimed the Dreamcatcher weapon from the Moro Sanatorium. Lucky for you, we released our Invader archetype video a while back, which has a full breakdown of how to obtain the Dreamcatcher, and you'll need it as a prerequisite to getting the Crescent Moon. Once you obtain Dreamcatcher, you'll want to keep it equipped and then travel to Namue's retreat. Head down the stairs, and if you've managed to trigger her correctly, she'll be sleeping. If she's not sleeping, simply fast travel out of the zone and then back in. Eventually, she'll be in a deep slumber. With the Dreamcatcher equipped, go up to Namue and use your basic melee command. Instead of attacking, you'll extract an item from the Goddess of the Fae, Namue's Dream. Go into your inventory, assign that item to a quick slot, and then use it to smash the orb on the ground and enter Namue's Dream Realm. It'll look like there's nothing in this new zone, but if you keep running the direction you were initially facing when you spawned in, eventually you'll see an item glowing in the distance. Reach the item, interact with it, and you'll pick up the crafting material, Anami's Echo. Take that back to McCabe and she'll craft for you the Crescent Moon. Bows are awesome, and with the right build can be absolutely devastating. If you haven't tried one out yet, maybe Crescent Moon will make you a fan. What's really special about this weapon is its baked-in mod power, Moonlight Barrage, which empowers the bow by giving each arrow the ability to apply moonlight to enemies that they hit. Any enemy that you hit when moonlit release a moon essence, which returns 1 arrow, heals for 5% of your max health, and grants a big increase to fire and reload speed. It also turns your basic shots into charged shots, and your manually charged perfect shots fire 2 arrows instead of 1. That perfect part is important. Whenever you charge your bow, you'll notice a ring shrinking down as you charge it till it lines up with a smaller ring. By releasing your shot as soon as they line up, you'll trigger a perfect shot, proccing that effect and amplifying the damage of the arrows. It's absolutely ridiculous how powerful this mod is, and like I said before, if you know how to build around it, it could be the weapon you never put down. Obviously, the key is having as much uptime on Moonlight Barrage as possible. That's what makes Crescent Moon such a unique weapon. But with so many gearing options in the game, it's pretty easy to see how you can make that happen. Bows simply aren't going to be for everyone, but if there's one option in Remnant 2 we think will resonate with the broadest group of players, it's the Crescent Moon. The next weapon on our list is Deceit, another community favorite long gun with one of the most interesting and powerful mods in the game. To unlock this weapon, you'll need to defeat Fei Lin, one of the world bosses at the end of the Palace Courtyard timeline in Losa. For those that may not have reached this point yet, you'll need to decide which world boss to fight at the end of this particular questline, either Fei Lin, who you encounter on the golden side, or Fei Rin, who you encounter on the dark side. You can only fight one, and your dialogue decisions do matter here, so think carefully about how you approach the situation. Your goal is to fight Fei Lin, and I have to admit, this is a heck of a fight and actually the first world boss I killed in Remnant 2. As someone that was only a few hours into the game, I was blown away by how epic these end boss fights are. It might take you 3 attempts, or 300, but eventually you'll kill the boss and receive the Imposter's Heart crafting material as a reward. Take this back to McCabe in Ward 13 and she'll turn the material into your real prize, Deceit. There are a lot of straightforward weapons in Remnant 2. This is not necessarily one of them. Deceit is a highly accurate long gun that fires 2 penetrating rails at a time. It's got high base damage, but can't weak spot crit out of the box. You might be thinking, no way, I'm definitely not interested. But wait. Its baked-in mod is called Ouroboros, and when used, it conjures 3 sword fragments that encircle the wielder for 30 seconds. When the player uses a melee attack, a fragment breaks off, which taints the blood of the target that it hits, causing all attacks from Deceit to register as weak spot hits. So you go from no chance to weak spot to every attack weak spot hitting. Pretty epic. Also, a charged melee attack fires all remaining fragments at once. There's a lot of really interesting use cases for this weapon, but where I think it works best is with a player who's not afraid to be up close to enemies and take full advantage of Ouroboros' effect. You can stand back and send out fragments activating that weak spot effect, but a player that can let those rotating blades hit enemies continuously while also using Deceit to chunk away damage is going to find the weapon oh so satisfying. It's really unique, no doubt about it, and I hope a few of you out there find it interesting enough to check out. I think it's time to admit that Narud is just home to some pretty epic hidden weapons. We covered the Pulse Rifle, Plasma Cutter, and Aphelion in our first Insane Weapons video, and we're back on the alien planet to hunt down yet another gun. This time we're chasing Starshot, a unique handgun that fires explosive rounds. To obtain this weapon, you'll need to keep your eyes peeled on either the first or second Narud overworld. There you'll need to locate these strange coffin-like devices. There are 5 scattered around the map, and you'll need to find and activate each one before you do anything else. Once all 5 beacons are turned on, head to this massive cylindrical structure built into the ground. At the moment, there's nothing you can do, so make your way around the area until you reach a dungeon entrance inside. You'll progress through as normal, clearing out enemies, finding loot, all that good stuff, but eventually you'll come to this console and you'll be able to interact with a power cell to restore power to the facility. At this point, you can head back to the overworld and everything will be powered on. Right in front of you, near the exit, is a control console, and so long as you've activated the 5 beacons, you can interact with it, and a massive dropship in the central chamber will begin firing into the atmosphere. You'll have to wait a few minutes as the dropship needs to make 5 trips to and from outer space, but each time it returns to the chamber, it'll deposit an item. On that final voyage back to the planet's surface, it'll bring down Starshot. All you need to do is jump down to the pods below and claim your epic loot. If you're in the market for a new handgun and absolutely sick and tired of always relying on Enigma to get the job done, I think Starshot is a solid option. The real kicker is the explosive damage, which you can further amplify with the right gear. There's no damage falloff with explosive weapons, so as long as you hit the target, you're going to do maximum possible damage. The mod power Big Bang doubles down on Starshot's explosive potential, funneling all mod charges up to 5 into the next shot, dealing increased direct damage and burn damage over time to any enemies in a small radius around the impact zone. It is a weapon that requires some accuracy to wield effectively, but if you've got the skill and want to be able to call on some explosive firepower on demand, I think the Starshot might be the thing you're looking for. Shifting gears, let's talk about a weapon the Gunfire team reimagined from the first game and perfected in Remnant 2, the Twisted Arbalest. This strange long gun fires out an energy disc that can bounce and hit up to 5 enemies in close proximity, dealing slightly less damage to each target hit. To obtain the weapon, you'll need to kill the Corruptor world boss at the end of the Red Throne storyline in Yeisha. I highly recommend checking out our Secrets of the Red Empress video to learn even more about Yeisha secrets, as there are a ton. This is a really challenging boss that tests your skills of traversal and multi-target coordination. If you manage to kill the Corruptor, you'll be rewarded with the Twisted Lazarite crafting material. Take this back to McCabe in Ward 13 and she'll craft you the Twisted Arbalest. Much like its predecessor, the Ricochet Rifle, the Twisted Arbalest is effective when in a multi-target situation, but can also be impactful against a single target when used correctly. It can only fire 1 shot at a time, and overall has a pretty lackluster fire rate, but it hardly matters when you consider how well it handles multi-target situations. When leveled up, this thing is a beast, and if you add in the mod power Guardian's Call, it could take your gameplay to that next level. When your mod power is full, all enemies hit by empowered discs will be marked. If you activate the mod, Guardian Swords will drop down, dealing damage and 3x stagger within a small radius. It's a 1-2 punch that is dangerously effective, especially in co-op. In the right hands, this weapon can carry you through the entire game, and if you haven't done so already, I highly recommend you check it out. The final weapon on our list today is the unique handgun Bolt Driver, which is the most flexible of all the weapons we've talked about today. To obtain this weapon, you'll need to have the Ravager storyline on Geisha, which starts in the Forbidden Grove. Work your way through the storyline until you reach the Lost Temple, which is the penultimate beat to the main story. You'll have to work your way through this zone and the subsequent zone until the massive water wheel is working again. Once it's working, you're going to manipulate the musical device to mimic the pan flute player we can faintly hear in the background. For clarity, you're going to want to set up your wheel like this. In row 1, raise the first peg. In row 2, raise the fourth peg. In row 3, lower all pegs. In row 4, raise the second peg. In row 5, raise the fifth peg. In row 6, lower all pegs. In row 7, raise the third peg. And in row 8, lower all pegs. Once that's done, come to the left side of the device and pull the giant lever. This will raise the mechanism and a song will begin to play. If you've done it correctly, once the song is finished, a secret compartment will rise up from the stone floor behind you, and inside will be waiting the Bolt Driver. A special note, if you go talk to the pan flute player after playing this song, he'll be so impressed he'll reward you with the Scroll of Binding, which you can turn into a powerful mod, Song of a Fear, back at McCabe in Ward 13. This is essentially an AoE stagger and slow that also reduces the damage dealt by enemies in the AoE for a short period of time. The weapon itself, the Bolt Driver, doesn't have a baked-in mod, so there's the flexibility I mentioned before. With both a mod and mutator slot available, you can socket in practically anything, making the weapon fit your preferred playstyle. Bolt Driver is an energy weapon that harnesses the power of the Pan Crystal within to fire off a 3-shot burst. It's a pseudo-long gun, and while it doesn't have quite the stopping power as, say, the Pulse Rifle, it's a great backup weapon when in a pinch and you're in need of something quickly to finish off a tough enemy. And there you have it, 5 more insane weapons we think everyone needs to find in Remnant 2. Obviously, there are many more secrets to find in the game, so we want to know which weapons do you think deserve to be on our list. Let us know in the comments down below. You better believe there's more to discover in Remnant 2, and we'll be with you every step of the way, so if you appreciate all the work that goes into creating these videos, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, and consider subscribing. It means a lot, and goes a long way to helping out the channel. You could also join us on Discord if you want to hang out with the team, talk about great games, and enter for your chance to win tons of free prizes. That link, as always, is below. My name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.